Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a comparison between real life glam makeup and studio slash social media online glam makeup. So basically, I've been seeing a lot of people posting really full glam makeup looks. Just did a tutorial following Meredith Duxbury's makeup techniques where she applies a lot of makeup, and it's not just her. I've seen a lot of creators doing this technique where they apply a lot of foundation, a lot of concealer, and just really build up all their products, and in the end they end up with this really flawless makeup look. And a lot of people are following these tutorials and then not getting the same result because they see texture and cakiness and all of that. And when you're not in front of these bright lights, things look very different when it comes to makeup. So I wanted to show you guys in this video what those full coverage makeup looks that you've been seeing all over your social media actually look like in person. So I'm going to be doing the makeup look that I've been seeing first, and then I'm going to be showing you it in real lighting, camera lighting, natural sunlight, just regular like house lights. So I'm going to really be showing you a bunch of different things so you guys can actually see what this makeup actually looks like on the skin, and to not be deceived by just a bright light kind of smoothing everything out. So if you want to see my comparison of real life glam versus camera glam, just keep on watching. I'm going to be using my Tatcha the Silk Canvas today. I really love this one. I honestly like using it when I do my makeup, just because I do feel like it kind of creates a barrier between the makeup and my skin. I'm going to use quite a bit of product. You don't need a lot with this. Just gonna rub this into my fingers and then apply it onto the skin. I'm gonna use my Always an Optimist primer from Rare Beauty. I feel like with full glam tutorials, 2 primers are usually used. Now, I often use 2 primers as well if I want, one that fills in the pores and one that kind of adds a nice finish to my skin. I don't think it's necessary though, and this is definitely a step that can be eliminated. So now it is time for the foundation, and this is the part that is obviously the craziest. So if you guys saw my Meredith Duxbury video, you know that I applied my foundation on the back of my hand and then onto my face, and I used a lot of products. And I feel like with what I'm seeing a lot on social media is this method done by her and a lot of other people just doing so much makeup and making it look so flawless online, and a lot of people are having an issue with that. So I'm going to be repeating that method today. So I'm going to take my Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. This has to be the most full coverage foundation I own or have ever tried. So I'm going to take quite a bit of this on the back of my hand. I know in my last video you guys said that, oh, you didn't use as much as Meredith, but this foundation is super thick and full coverage, and it's not a very liquidy foundation, so it doesn't really look like it, but trust me, it's full coverage. I'm also going to mix in a bit of my Wet n Wild Dewy because I've also been seeing a ton of this mixing foundations, which I don't think is a terrible idea. I think you can mix foundations to get your perfect formula. I do it a lot actually, so I have no issue with that. I'm just gonna mix in a bit of this Milani Screen Queen. It's just really light, and these two are a little dark for me right now, so I'm gonna mix this in to color match. I don't know if I'm ready for this again, but I'm gonna take a brush, mix it on the back of my hand, and then rub it on skin. I also feel like this just wastes a lot of product on the back of your hand. Like if you had like a glass palette or something, you can pick it up. Like you could pick up more of the product off of it, but I feel like this way there's just so much product being completely absorbed into your hand that you're not using. Now it's time to take my hands, which are clean of course. I feel like this time I definitely have enough product, like holy crap. Oh. Try to blend that into my hairline. I do have to say this method does get everything blended in really nice, but there's just like, I love this method of using your hands. I think it's actually really great, but just not with this much product. It's so unnecessary. All right, so then obviously the next step is just more foundation. So I'm just gonna take a bit of the Wet n Wild Just dot on my face. I know she uses a dropper, but I don't have a dropper foundation on me right now, so I'm just gonna use this. Take my sponge. Blend this in. I definitely think this step kind of saves everything. Makes it a little less cakey. A little bit. I don't know. Gonna take this over the eyes too. I definitely would just stop with the first layer foundation. I don't think it's necessary to go in with another one, but next is concealer, and of course we're keeping it very full coverage. I'm just gonna use my Rare Beauty concealer today. I find this one is pretty full coverage. Just gonna put quite a bit of this under my eyes, which again is, I don't think that necessary. Like, I do not use nearly as much concealer. If you guys are interested, I could do a similar video to this where I do like glam makeup, like Instagram or social media makeup versus real life makeup, because the full glam that I do for videos is completely different than the full glam that I do in like for just going out or just for like everyday life, you know. So if you guys want to see something like that, let me know, because it would be similar to this, but instead of showing you how things look like on camera versus off camera, I'd be showing you, you know, my actual makeup routine, because I do have to admit the makeup I do on camera is quite a bit different, just because I usually do more full coverage on camera, and I have to use more product because sometimes colors get faded out on camera. Like, especially with eyeshadow and lipstick, I always have to go a little bit more pigmented. So here is my face with all the foundation and concealer on. There's a lot of makeup on my skin right now, and it's kind of crazy. All right, so now we're going to set this down. Now, you guys know I usually use my Coty Airspun for full glam looks. I'm gonna follow the tutorials I've seen a little closer and just use a powder with a brush. The Coty Airspun, I've made a whole video about it. I don't like using it with a brush, so I'm not going to use that one with a brush, but I'm just going to use this It's You skin perfecting powder from Sistar Cosmetics. So I just have a bunch in the cap here, and then with this e.l.f. like powder brush, dip in there, and I'm just going to go right on the skin, really setting everything down. I don't usually use a brush for powder. I either like using like a powder proof or a sponge, but whatever. This powder is actually really finely milled, so it doesn't look too cakey on the skin, but it still sets everything nicely in. Alright, now I'm just going to contour a bit using this Wet n Wild palette. Alright, so I'm just going to dip into the contour with a little eyeshadow brush. And I don't contour my nose like this usually, but I see this a lot online, and it looks great in pictures and on camera, but I feel like sometimes it doesn't look the best in person. So I'm just gonna go down the sides of my nose and up into my eyebrow, underneath the nose, and then right up here. Basically with contouring, you're trying to make like an illusion with light and shadow to do this. And at the right angles, it can look really, really good. So that's why I'm doing that right now. Next, I'm going to bronze up the skin. And as I mentioned before with, you know, photographed or videographed makeup, you kind of have to go a little more intense. If you ever have performed like as a dancer or anything on stage with lights and stuff, you would know that bright lights just flush out color, so you have to use more product to actually make it look like you're wearing any. So I'm really just going in with more bronzer like you would see it on social media, and it probably doesn't look that bad right now on camera with my lights and everything. I'm gonna use some butter blush from Physicians Formula. Now, even though I have been liking more intense blush lately, same thing with the bronzer, just going more intense. Going on the nose too, this is a technique I actually like using, so. And you guessed it, same process with highlighter. I'm taking this Wet n Wild loose highlighter, which is super intense. Really gonna saturate my brush and make it really look super metallic on camera. Of course, the nose too. And I see a lot of people do this where they really concentrate the highlighter on the tip of the nose. I feel like it looks really good in pictures and stuff, but in real life, it's kind of Alright, so I'm gonna go do the eyes off camera because the only really difference is I just kind of use colors a little more intensely on camera because, as I said, you know, the bright lights do flush out the pigment. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and did the eyes and the lips off camera. Now it's time to show you guys what the skin actually looks like. So I'm going to zoom you guys back in, show you guys the skin on camera with my lights, but really zoom you in so you can see how the makeup is looking, because like this, I would say my skin looks pretty flawless, really glowy. It looks super smooth, like I have no texture, no acne, everything like that. And honestly, this is kind of what you see on social media, you know, and aside from editing and stuff, because most photos online are retouched, so I'm not kind of talking about that. I'm just talking about lighting itself and how it can really affect how a makeup look or just skin looks in general. So here's my makeup from further away. As you can see, everything looks super smooth, dewy, glowy, everything like that. Now we are nice and zoomed in, and here is my skin. As you can see, we got some texture going on. You know, this highlight right here, like you can definitely see some texture under that. Got some acne peeking through, and overall, you know, a little bit cakey, but I will say the light still flushes out a lot of the texture and stuff on my skin and still makes it look a lot more smooth and perfected and just like that flawless skin finish than it does in real life. So now I'm kind of like holding my camera as I would be vlogging, and I'm going to kind of stick my head through the ring light so I'm behind the light, and then you guys will really see all the true skin come to play. Alright, so this is what I mean. You can see my skin is not that perfect doll-like finish. I have texture, you know, fine lines here and there, acne, and overall you can see how the makeup is kind of caked on. Now I am in natural lighting, so just natural sunlight, and here is my skin. Natural sunlight does also kind of do that same effect as studio lights and kind of blurs everything out and makes the makeup look a lot more flawless. I'm just in my bathroom with overhead lighting, regular house lighting, and as you can see, my skin does not look nearly as perfect and smooth as it does on camera or in front of natural lighting. You can see that texture and the makeup kind of caked up. All right, and this is me in my room. I have lights like on my ceiling, and this is how my skin is looking here. So again, you can see that texture and more of that cakiness, and my blush and bronzer looks a lot more harsh, and it just looks like real skin. There is full glam makeup in studio lighting and really good lighting compared to real life. I hope this kind of put, you know, glam makeup that you see online kind of into perspective, because it's kind of, you know, when you see these videos online and you see people applying all this makeup to their skin and it just looking flawless and it not looking cakey at all or no texture, and then, you know, you try to repeat these methods yourself and mimic these tutorials and it just doesn't turn out the same, and you have all this texture and lines, and you know, the makeup just looks a little cakey, and that's totally normal. That is real skin. I guarantee you, whoever you're seeing online and having this like smooth, perfect skin, when they're in real light, they have that texture and cakiness and all of that too. It's not like as airbrushed and perfected as it seems on camera. And that's really why I wanted to do this video, to bring that up. A lot of you mentioned it in my Meredith Duxbury video, and that's why I wanted to make this one, to show some of you guys the real side-by-side comparison of what real makeup looks like. I think it's really important to see that. So that's really it for this video. I hope this was helpful to any of you guys, and just keep that in mind when you're scrolling on social media and seeing all these makeup tutorials, or even here on YouTube, you know, like studio lighting is very helpful because the quality gets a lot better when you have good lighting, but it doesn't always represent the true look of something. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day or night whenever you're watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to stick around to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel and also make sure to hit my post notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And yeah guys, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!